it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So I just skipped the little cutscene where they got the pictures from the kids about the Neanderthal. And now we're getting into a new part of the scene, so I'm just going to go ahead and start. DeAndre left, and Hendrik returned the class letters to the corner of the table. Noticing me lingering, Hendrik glanced up.
Need something?
Oh, I was wondering where Kyler was since we mentioned him. He's usually upstairs reading or in his tent, but I haven't seen him.
I think he's still in the cave.
What? But isn't it all locked up and stuff?
At this time, yes. However, Augustin made an exception. Kyler's currently scouting the cave's interior, since we plan to put up some displays for visitors during the festival next week.
Festival?
An open event that anyone can join. There'll be more details next Monday, since we'll be needing everyone's help on this one.
Sounds fun. You're giving Kyler more responsibilities lately. Or has he done this before?
Well, since he helped during the tour, he's proved himself capable outside of the excavation and lab activities. I thought it wouldn't hurt.
I'm glad things are sorted out between you two.
Same here. Not sure why this year is different from the previous ones, but I'm grateful we're on friendlier terms.
Should I ask what happened between them?
Ask away? Nah, it's not important. No, we should ask, yeah.
Why didn't you two get along in the first place?
It's not really an interesting story. Kyler is the type to nurse minor grievances.
I don't mind. I've got time.
Well, 4 excavations ago, Kyler picked here as an elective. It was a tense year for me, since I started working for my uncle, and it was more of a trial period. I had no idea if I'd be hired permanently after the summer ended. Anyway, I showed Kyler the ropes, and went over the photograph with him. I explained the stratigraphy, and that his square had a badger burrow. He seemed genuinely interested about the whole thing. He asked a lot of questions about the dates, what you'll likely find, etc. Once we finished, I assisted the other students with their squares, while Augustin checked the photographs for approval or critique. I happened to be nearby when Augustin reviewed Kyler's photograph and
wouldn't have been approved in a heartbeat? You did go over things thoroughly with Kyler.
That was the problem. When Kyler pointed out the burrow, my uncle got upset. He thought Kyler overstepped his boundaries by jumping to conclusions without prior knowledge. He wasn't an archaeology student at the time, after all. So Kyler got this earful in front of the other students. Kyler saw me, and I could tell he hoped that I would step in. But I didn't. If I did, it would have made it worse. My uncle hates being told when he's wrong in the middle of a lecture, and I didn't want to jeopardize my chance to work here either. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. It would have been messy if I intervened and make the excavation even less enjoyable for Kyler. Basically, the poor kid got scolded for no reason.
Did you explain everything to Kyler afterwards?
I tried, but he refused to let me talk to him. I sometimes wonder if I could have handled it better. I felt awful not getting involved.
I wouldn't know what to do in that situation either. I guess you rationalized that Kyler wouldn't come back anyway, since he wasn't even an archaeology student.
Yes, I was surprised to see that he did come back. Anyway, that's the story. After the incident, Kyler learned that my uncle and I didn't always agree on how things should be done, and so he only follows Augustin's instructions. It avoids further misunderstandings at any rate.
Did you ever clarify the whole thing to Augustin later? You know, once you got the job?
It didn't matter by then. I don't think my uncle remembers lecturing Kyler. To him, it's simply another day in the cave, yelling at those darn whippersnappers who don't appreciate stratigraphy enough. It's an entirely different memory to the students, though.
Still, for your grudge from something like that?
Heh, it's not really 4 years. More like months since I only see him annually. Kyler probably forgets about it. And then memory rushes back when he sees me and goes, ugh, him again. Repeat cycle.
At least the cycle's broken now.
Amen. Did I make our rocky history all crystal clear now?
Yes, thanks for that.
It was no problem. Anyway, I need to finish off a few things. We can talk later if you have any other questions.
Sure.
Alright, skipping ahead. And we're back, and it's festival day. Woohoo! Okay, so we are going to tag along with you, Hendrik.
I'd like to help you out, Hendrik, if it's not too much trouble.
Of course not. I'll meet you upstairs.
While Hendrik led Shoji to the face paint supplies, I trooped up to the second floor and surveyed the layout. All of the folding tables were set up with trays containing various rocks placed in neat fashion. I noticed a rectangular stack of little index cards. The very top had printed words in a list. Grease, sandstone. Curious, I picked it up and glanced at the paper underneath, which read, calcite, calxton, limestone. I guessed I had to match the labels to the corresponding stones.
Sorry for the wait. We can get started now. Ah, looks like you already did.
I split the cards in half and replaced the labels next to the exhibited rocks. Many I was already familiar with. Slate, quartz, conglomerate. I paused at dolomite and hesitantly waved the paper between some of the unnamed rocks.
It's the whitish one to your right.
Thanks. Between the two of us, we finished in record time. I grinned at our fully prepared exhibit. That was a cakewalk.
Cakewalk?
He repeated the unfamiliar phrase.
Is that an American term?
It means it was a super easy task. It originated from a dance called the cakewalk. I pantomimed holding an umbrella and did a few practice struts, finishing with a flourish turn. Yes, there was cake involved.
I know I'd be more inclined to take an Intro to Waltzes course if it included cake.
Waltzing is for squares. You'd probably love the modern cakewalks. I only demonstrated one version. There's a more open and simpler carnival type. It's basically a cross between raffle tickets and musical chairs. You buy a ticket, then go around a circle of squares with numbers on them. When the music stops, the MC announces a number, and if it matches the one you're standing on, you get a cake. The best part is that there's usually multiple cakes, so there's always a good chance of winning something. Sorry, didn't mean to prattle.
You've been subjected to my little spiels before, so you can consider us even.
It's rare that I get to talk about dance in general. Most of the discussions is my local Lindy Hop community, or when I travel to competitions.
Travel? Even out of California?
For dancing? No, it's always been within my state.
Have you visited other parts of the states?
I've been to Arizona and Texas to see extended family. I haven't seen North or East Coast. Why? Thinking of visiting someday?
Perhaps. I've always wanted to go. I've already traveled across Europe and visited Africa. I'd love to fly to New York or maybe see the Grand Canyon. It'd probably be a road trip since there's much I'd want to see. Hendrik, are you up there? Yes. Need something? I was going to ask if you set up the Lattle station already. Me? I thought that'd be your department, Rose. My job is to make sure everyone is doing their jobs. Ciao. I don't know what that means.
Rosemary vanished before Hendrik could question her duties further. He shook his head before turning to me.
Have you seen an Atlatl before, Melissa? I can even demonstrate for you if you're interested. Accept the invitation, decline. Why would we ever decline? No, that'd be dumb. Let's accept.
Sure. What is an Atlatl exactly?
It'll be easier to explain once I show you. Oh, that's right. I guess in this one they didn't do the thing with DeAndre in them, right? Or did we? I thought we did. I don't know. I've played through this so many times now I don't even know anymore.
After we gathered the items we needed from the station, we went outside. Hendrik propped up the wooden humanoid cutout against the tree by the museum. It was painted black with circular bullseye targets radiating out from the chest area, with each section numbered with points. I held the Atlatl, which consisted of a long spear and a smaller stick, and absent-mindedly poked the ground with it like a staff. Now what?
Time to test out the Atlatl before we take it to the forest clearing. Sometimes Rosemary has to readjust the weight attached to it if it feels off balance. Can you hold my hand?
Huh? The question threw me off guard. Hendrik nonchalantly screwed off the wrist joint, revealing the hooks underneath. Oh, that's what he meant. Of course. I accepted the prosthetic hand. My cheeks felt hot, and I was relieved that Hendrik didn't notice my embarrassment during the exchange. He took a few steps forward and positioned himself away from the target.
Anyway, this is an atlatl. I'm referring to the smaller stick here. With this, I can propel the spear further with more strength by using leverage.
He tilted the atlatl back, letting the spear settle onto the notched end. It balanced horizontally above his shoulders as his left fingers pitched the sides of both sticks. He lunged forward and threw the spear with force. It penetrated the cutout near the center, and I applauded in awe. Nice one. Do you practice often?
Mostly over the winter. It's how the archaeology team assigns chores. My uncle is the reigning champion, though. I don't think I've seen him do the dishes once since I started working here. Your turn.
He approached and presented the weapon. I remembered that I was still holding on to something. Here.
Danke.
It's no problem. I'd be happy to hold your hand anytime. He froze midway through covering the hooks, his fingers lingering on the artificial wrist joint.
Aw, you're so cute, Hendrik.
Anyway, my turn. I got into position, trying to grasp both the atlatl and the spear in one hand. My mind was still preoccupied with the awkward sentence I muttered.
Move your left foot forward a bit and lean back.
Like this?
Much better. Let's fix that grip too.
He reached out, then paused, not wanting to be invasive.
You mind?
Go ahead. I'm better with visual instruction.
Aw, this is cute.
He maneuvered until he was beside me, his left hand reaching over my shoulder. Delicately, he manipulated my fingers and steered my elbow slightly.
You only need your index and your thumb to pinch the spear close. After all, you'll have to let it go.
Should I keep it ear level, or... I looked up, and our eyes met. His face was close, and I was increasingly aware of how his hand was still in contact with mine. Hendrik hastily stepped back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get in your face like that.
It's okay. I mumbled out my response and channeled all of thy nervousness into the throw. The spear harmlessly sailed into the ground a few feet before the target, emitting a chuckle from Hendrik.
The launch was a little shaky. Takes a few tries before you get comfortable with the starting position. I'll take the equipment over now. I know they'll need extra hands setting the tables.
Right. I scurried away while Hendrik briskly walked over to the forgotten spear. When I reached the stacked chairs, I glanced over my shoulder. Hendrik stared at the atlatl before gripping it tightly. I hope I didn't make things awkward between us now. Focus. Focus. I should keep myself busy until the festival starts.
Alright, well I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.